Welcome to another edition of Guns 101, our video welcome message for new gun owners. It's brought to you by the Self-Defense Radio Network. I'm Rob Morse from Self-Defense Gun Stories. My partner, the one you can see, she's Amanda Suffolcool from Eye on the Target Radio. My partner who's hiding behind the camera, that's Paul Lathrop from the Polite Society Podcast. This evening, we have, again, activist Dr. Bill Chachkes from the Firearms Chat Podcast. Bill, millions of people brought a firearm home for the first time in the middle of a quarantine where we can't get them to the range. We can't get them into safety classes the way we want. What do they need to know about firearm safety?
Well, you mentioned millions. First of all, we're talking about 2.7 million new gun purchases in the month of March.
Right.
Obviously, whenever they're at the range and they are about to take that first shot, check everything. Check to your left and right to make sure there is nothing interfering with your vision. Also, make sure your firearm is always pointed downrange and that you're always looking downrange. It wouldn't be too smart if you had to look off to your left and then all of a sudden you point the gun to the right, because that's a natural reflex. Check if you're standing, check your footing. Of course, me being a disabled shooter these days, I sit down. So make sure your chair is in a good position or your wheels are locked. And obviously make sure you have a firm grip on your firearm. And if you have a manual safety of some sort, whether it be grip or thumb, check it. Make sure you're safe.
Those are absolutely great points, because you're talking about stability and what else is, know your target, what's beyond it, what's around you, all of those kinds of things before you ever get started. Those make sense. Rob, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No. That's it. Bill, when you say it, you and I have shot for decades, and you go, that sounds so simple, except for the people for whom it is absolutely new. That's the first time they heard it. And
this is why we have to This is why we have to repeat it over and over so they get it ingrained in. Rob, you're an instructor. I used to be an instructor. Amanda, you're an instructor and a competitor. Paul has had a lot of instruction and is also a good instructor. We understand, and I being a Jew, I talk with my hands. I apologize. We understand what the background is. We've been doing it for so long. I thought back today when Paul asked me to do this with you guys. I've been shooting almost 53 years.
Yeah.
And for somebody who's never shot a gun before, like the 5 new people I had on April 18th, we were just trying to ingrain in them the constant habits of safety, and always also make sure you have eye and ear pro. Like we like to mention on the podcasts, all of our podcasts, POGO, pants on, gun on. Well, before your safety is off, your eyes and your ears have to be on.
Right. Oh, let's talk about a new shooter and putting your hearing protection on. I don't know how many students I have seen that go to say, I've got a gun in my hand and I need to adjust my headset, my earmuffs. And if you've got a gun in a hand and you go to do this, where's your gun? Where's your head? Where's your hand? Don't do that.
Exactly.
Set the gun down and then do that.
And I actually saw somebody try to raise their hands to adjust. They were wearing a non-amplified headset, which is something I suggest for new shooters. Don't jump right in and get an amplified headset, because if you don't adjust the volume correctly, that may be too much of a first audible shock.
Mm-hmm.
So I always suggest a really good pair of non amplified, either a Walker's or a DD, something really good with like a 27 or 30 decibel blocking level.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had to tap the person on the shoulder.
To get their attention. But okay, so let's
when you
tell them to look for a 27 to 30 decibel rating for their hearing protection, what they're going to see is they see a number and then it says NRR, and that's a noise reduction
rating.
And so it will tell them how much noise it will cut out of what they're going to be hearing. And so the higher the number, the better.
The better the blocking, the better the reduction. And anything below 25 is not really going to do the job very well at an indoor range. There are more echoes at an indoor range than when you're shooting outside. We have the opportunity where I live in Arizona to shoot out in the desert. And we also have a lot of outdoor ranges.
Well, yeah, no, and hearing protection is made differently for different uses. And so like this, they have some really low profile stuff for trap shooters or for shotgun work, so that when you pull the gun up to your shoulder, you're not hitting and banging against it.
Right.
But it also only has like a 22 NRR rating. So it works outside and it works for something that is not as sharp a noise, so for a shotgun. So, but there's different ratings for different hearing protection as you think about it and you consider what you're buying to kick you off and get you started.
Oh, Bill, let's talk about this. Lots of people have glasses, and then we say, "Oh, you need shooting glasses." If they're young, if they're old, what type of glasses do they need?
Well, here's the thing. You and I, Rob, I'm not wearing my glasses right now, but Rob, you and I wear prescription lenses. They work for shooting. There are some people that get prescription lens goggles, like I see a lot of the doctors wearing in the emergency room when I go in to get my dialysis treatment. And this is really a good method to protect your eyes. But a simple pair of shooting glasses, they could be clear, they could be sun blocking, they could be yellow for an indoor range, as long as something covers the eyes in front and to the sides.
Gotcha.
And then when you add a ball cap to that to keep that top rim clear, you've then got a pretty good protection of both your ears or your eyes and what could potentially come in from the top side, because there's nothing that hurts worse than burning off an eyebrow when a piece of brass gets jammed and stuck there.
And since you brought that up, Amanda, I'm going to say something that I say to all lady shooters, and I say it to my wife all the time, especially those ladies that are well endowed. Do not wear low-cut tops or sandals or shorts, very, very short shorts when you go shooting, because brass, when it flies around, is hot.
Extremely hot. Yeah.
Extremely hot. Despite wearing clothes to protect myself, we've all been burned by hot brass.
Yes. So we're telling you all from experience. But one thing I wanted to touch on really quick before we run out of time is being an activist. Now that you understand that you have this right, and I'm not expecting every single person who bought a firearm for the first time, to run out and join every single firearms group there is in the United States, every single Facebook group. If you join the NRA, that's wonderful. There are people
we're
who
going to talk about this. Why don't we do this, Bill? This is a teaser for another video, because we're going to have you back, and we're going to talk about that on that video. So, folks, look for Dr. Bill Chachkes on another video in addition to this one for firearm safety. And look him up in Firearms Chat Podcast, in where all the best podcasts are. It is on Self Defense Radio Network, sdrn.us.
Yep.
You can find him there. We'll be back with another video. You just got to look us up.